Go.
How have shoreline change rates varied along the Bournemouth seafront since 2005? I chose 11 positions along Bournemouth seafront, starting at Branksome Chine Beach, moving westwards at 250-metre intervals. Using Google Earth Pro satellite images from 2005, 2014 and 2022, provided quantitative data for some measurements and visual qualitative data for others. The shoreline elevation data for each year was measured in 1 metre increments, perhaps digitally rounded up or down to the nearest metre, compromising the accuracy. The line graph shows the elevation fluctuated noticeably, dropping off 2 metres by positions 1, 3 and 5 between 2005 and 2014. The data doesn't reveal if the elevation increases are a result of natural deposition or artificial beach replenishment. Since 2005, to stop erosion and elevation decrease, BCP Council has regularly replenished the beach. The line graph shows the beach width between positions 11 and 6 decreased over the years, while the width for positions 1 to 5 increased. The whole length of Bournemouth seafront is eroding, and since 2005, 1.5 million cubic metres of replenishment sand has maintained beach width. However, my data does not necessarily reflect the success of beach replenishment schemes, because beach width variation could be due to natural changes in erosion and deposition, not from the satellite images. The satellite image for each year reveals how a low seawall from positions 1 to 8 and rock groins at Branksome Chine Beach and sandbanks. They act as a coastal defence to reduce the rate of cliff and beach erosion and transportation by longshore drift. These interventions must be monitored regularly, perhaps by satellite imagery, to ensure they don't cause further harm eastwards along the shoreline, because groins can complicate shoreline dynamics. Satellite monitoring has been very useful in India, where images from 2000 onwards reveal the Cuddalore coast is eroding, prompting the authorities to change their coastal management strategies. Due to residential development and beach erosion, the original Sandbanks dune system was depleted. Consequently, Sandbanks Coastal Protection Scheme, created in 1995, involved marron grass planting to ensure dune accretion. In positions 11 and total area of dunes increased from 2005 and 2022. The dune area in positions 10 remained the same size. My findings suggested sand dune regeneration scheme has been successful. I observed soft engineering fencing around the sand dunes at position 10 in 2005. The fencing was not visible in 2014 or 2022, although I could have been mistaken due to resolution of the satellite image, confusing dune fencing with dune vegetation cover. Reduced fencing suggests that mature dunes are resistant to anthropogenic trampling and aeolian erosion. My observations show an increase in the amount of vegetation on dunes in positions 10 and 11. However, my findings are not conclusive, because I cannot be sure if vegetation cover indicates plants or just shadowing from aerial photography. It is important BCP Council encourages only dune-appropriate vegetation to grow, because dune fauna such as sand lizards will only thrive in dune habitats with marron grass. My data supports changing rates of bare sand areas and sandbanks dunes field over the years, mirroring BCP Council's finding, and that sand accretion has increased. It is hoped that the bare sand areas will be monitored and maintained to create habitats, especially for sand lizards. A reduction in bare sand patches during the last century along Merseyside coast has resulted in a decline in lizard population. The measurements show a high tide line was higher on the beach over time. This could indicate rising sea levels or higher surges due to frequent climate change storms, or my measurements could reflect the limitation of only having one satellite image for each year to compare. However, if my measurements do reflect sea level rise, this will increase the probability of beach recession, and the council will consider further coastal engineering defences. As in Poole Bay, the tidal range in the Baltic Sea is minimal. Predictions are made for the Baltic coastline suggest climate change high water levels could be reached once every 10 years, rather than every 100 years. Only Sandbanks seafront has residential land use, and the satellite images show no change to the amount of residential development between 2005 and 2022, suggesting the real estate on the spit was opened before 2005 and the topographic elsewhere is too steep for construction. I estimate there was a little change in recreational development along the beachfront between 2005 and 2022, with beach huts, car parks and hotels all built before 2005. Indeed, the flat sandbank shoreline has been extensively developed for recreational purposes. The impact of human construction on the beach must be monitored because the unspot beaches in Bournemouth are immense assets and tourism industry to local economy.